Hi America, this is Psychic Tracy Brown. Coming to you today, July 30th, 2013. Today we're going to talk about the Real Housewives. The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And we're going to talk about Joe and Teresa Giudice. We're going to do a reading on Joe and Teresa Giudice. It's my understanding on Monday they were indicted for some tax fraud and lying on a loan application. I actually didn't know you can get into trouble for lying on a loan application. It makes sense now. I just didn't know it was a crime, but that's my ignorance. It totally makes sense though. So with that being said, they've kind of been escaping a lot of jail time. So I'm going to look at, is this going to stick finally? Like, who's really in trouble? Are they both in trouble? Is it more Joe than Teresa? Let's take a look at what's going on around the Giudices, Real Housewives of New Jersey, and see if things are going to happen to them. All right, let's take a look at Joe and Teresa Giudice. What's around their legal troubles? They've actually been escaping legal troubles a lot. Practically their whole Real Housewives career. Like, it's amazing how they've been escaping. Tax fraud, I think, was a few years back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And interesting enough, Melissa keeps referring to their legal problems, and the show was shot like, I don't know, 6 months ago. Ooh. So the Justice card is the last card. That could be good or bad. But in November, I don't know if that makes sense, but around November, there will be a ruling on their troubles. Maybe not a ruling. It could be a ruling. It could be a ruling. It could be a plea bargain. It's definitely centered around money. It's definitely things that they did on purpose. It's also that they, like, when I get the Ten of Swords, which is the card that I just showed you, I get that you did it to yourself. That's what the card usually means to me. It's one of those cards where it's an impossibility, you know, to get this much swords in your back unless you made yourself the target. And that's what I'm getting, that they actually knew what they were doing. And when I say they, I want to be really clear about this. Joe Giudice knew what he was doing. I also feel like Teresa knew, but then kind of said, well, Joe, you know, you're the husband, so it doesn't feel right, but you're the husband. Are you sure we can't get into trouble, Joe? Like that kind of stuff. And yet she knew. So I'm getting that they both knew. I think that Teresa follows Joe because Joe is her husband. When it should have come to the point where Teresa was like, stop. I don't care what you do. My name cannot be attached to that. There was a point where they shouldn't even have the same, they shouldn't even have filed the same taxes. I would think Teresa would have stopped filing taxes after their last situation together. But they did. She's a buffoon, which is the reason why the Ten of Swords comes up. But I feel like the Ten of Swords has nothing to do with still filing taxes together. Something tells me it actually did get separated. I think it has more to do with him just having a criminal background. Like, is his family in the mafia or something? I don't mean that in a bad way, but it just seems to me like he has a history of family members that just do dirty stuff. And I don't think he would have gotten caught except for being on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So once again, you did this to yourself. It's kind of like, if you hadn't been on the show, nobody would have ever known. You would have gotten away with, financial murder. They don't have the money to repay this, by the way. Like, what they're bringing in and what they owe are two different things. They don't have the money. Teresa, I don't know why this is. Teresa wants one of the kids to get into modeling heavily. I don't think it's the older one, Gia, by the way. It's one of the other ones. Either she wants them to be a star or something like that. I do a star or modeling, something to that effect. Because at least that, there'll be some income coming in via their child. I don't know if that makes any sense. Looks like they do have the position of advantage in terms of making a deal that will work for them. I do feel like the house gets on the block. I do feel like part of the deal, I don't know if this makes any sense, but it kind of does to me. I think part of the deal, one becomes Teresa. I think Teresa's the bigger breadwinner right now. I think they go after anything Teresa makes. And she may owe them, like, rather than go to jail, I think it's going to be more like, well, we're going to take this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. I also think that Teresa's offering something to them. I feel like she's like, well, take this, and don't do this to us. I think the house is on the block. You know, I think it's one of those things that they're not going to be able to hold on to. I don't know if there's like mortgage, like what the ratio is between what they're paying, what the house is worth, blah, 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 blah. Homes in Jersey tend to hold up their value, and I think they're in a town, Montville. Oh, Montville's beautiful, by the way. I'm from Jersey. Not, but I am. It's a long story. With some legal wranglings, they actually could wind up on top. I do think that there is going to be some probation. Sorry, guys. I do think there's going to be some probation. I'm really surprised Joe's not going to jail. For some reason, Teresa really, really handles the situation. Joe's not coming up as strong. And if he's not coming up as strong, why? Does Joe go to jail? No. No. I just don't see either one of them going to jail, by the way. I understand the fraud part of it. I get it. But I do think that there is, unless I'm wrong, I do believe that there is a way where money plays a big part of this. Repayment of it plays a big part of this. And I do feel like they're going to be able to strike a deal like they did before. It is their second time, with legal trouble. I think they're going to be okay financially. I do think they're going to be okay financially. I think in the next couple of years, there's definitely some sabotage coming to the marriage. Definitely some sabotage. Definitely some questions on Teresa's part, whether or not this is a relationship she should stay in. Somebody walks away. Somebody definitely walks away because it's just too much to handle. I think the marriage crumbles. I also think the marriage may crumble, by the way, because it may have to. I think these legal situations, Teresa's just way too tied in, and legally it's not worth Teresa's while to stay married for the legal reasons to her husband. You've heard of stuff like that, right? So the legal situation, I really feel like will work themselves out, but I also think it takes a toll on their marriage, and I do see the marriage crumbling. Okay, so that's the end. Real Housewives of New Jersey. What's the legal situation around them? It looks like they work it out. They offer everything that they can. I think Teresa takes the blunt of it. Ultimately, I think their marriage crumbles. Sorry. Okay, guys, July 30th, 2013. Thanks for tuning in. Take it easy. Bye.